CIA.
I'm here with the band UNZYME doing the first podcast for the club interface. Welcome, guys. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, what are your plans at the moment? The record coming out?
Yeah, well, today we're going to be working on some new songs with Lasse, some new UNZYME songs, and we just released a new single last Friday, and it's called The Completionist. It was also produced by Lasse, and it's one of 4 singles out of the next album that's gonna be out later this year. I'm not gonna reveal the name just yet, but it's gonna be epic.
I can imagine. I heard the completionist and I loved it.
Okay, that's good to hear.
The minute I've heard. You have also a band.
Yeah, it's called Pihka ja Myrsky. It's a Finnish speaking and singing pop rock band, pop, electronic pop, stuff like that, with 2 vocalists and catchy songs.
So it's quite different from UNZYME.
It's quite different, but I've been producing lots of different artists over the years, and UNZYME is just one of them. And I've been producing like pop, rap, and electronic music, and even Finnish schlagers.
Yeah.
What?
And everything.
How did you kind of produce UNZYME? How did that happen?
We have known each other since
For about
2007, I think.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And I have another band also. It's called UNZYME, and Joona was. I think we did an interview.
Yeah,
We took the pictures.
Yeah,
But we've met
in
before that
Helsinki.
already in Helsinki, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably in 2008 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah,
And we've known each other ever since, and
yeah. I've been to many UNZYME shows.
Pihka ja Myrsky also.
Yeah, I think I've been to more Pihka ja Myrsky shows than UNZYME at this point.
Well, Pihka ja Myrsky is more current in my work right now, so
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah. So from Lasse's band.
Okay. And how did UNZYME get started?
Well, it started as a solo project of mine in 2007 or 8. It depends on the way of looking at it. I think that, well, I started just composing songs because I used to have this rock band in which I sang and I wrote some songs for it, but the other guys in that band were not that interested in making it a huge thing, so I kind of got frustrated to them and wanted to start something of my own. And then I didn't really know what it was going to be like or what it was about to become, but I had this vision of creating organic electronic music, like pop music, and it started with a few songs.
That's how it always does.
Yeah.
And the image came with the name, I guess.
Yeah, well, the original name was called UNZYME with an E, and then I Googled it and found out that it was very saturated, that there were so many hits that I couldn't really imagine anyone finding us with that name, so I changed it to UNZYME.
I think it's a better name.
Yeah, people said that at the time when I changed the name. It was mostly because of search engine optimization, but it's also, it means that it's like an artificial enzyme.
Yeah,
So-
the sound is like, reminds me of cyberpunk.
Yeah, it is very much
Yeah.
a cyberpunk thing. And
How did the lab coats happen?
well, actually, the drummer Ville is a scientist.
Really?
Yeah, He's a biologist, and he wears a lab coat in his job. And I've always been interested in science fiction and all kinds of scientific things. So it kind of, well, it wasn't like planned from the very beginning that we should have exactly lab coats. But a friend of mine said after our first show that I looked just like I look every day on stage. So that was kind of boring. So I thought about, yeah, we need to ramp things up, and then we thought about different kinds of costumes, and lab coats were kind of a natural choice for us.
Was it a bit like creating an alter ego for stage?
Maybe, but I don't think that I really have an alter ego on stage. I still think that I'm very much myself on stage. At least I don't sing songs from a different perspective. It's always me singing. So it's more like a visual thing.
Yeah, it works.
Oh, thanks.
I've also seen the live clips on YouTube, and they really work. So they synchronize everything together, lights, everything.
Yeah. We have a very special light show. Everything is designed by ourselves, and we have designed the light show so that it's synchronized to the songs. So every time Ville plays the bass drum, there is a certain light going off, and all the parts of the songs have been specifically designed so that the color scheme is always like suitable for the song, and there is always some sort of like a I don't know, a story in the lights.
Yeah. Actually, that brings us to Club Interface. You are playing the gig there in our first club.
Yes, we are.
And we are really happy to have you there.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to play at the first Club Interface.
Yeah, especially when it happens by accident.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like a snowball.
Yeah, I think I sent you a comment about blogging about us.
Blog is what started the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I did a review there. Or did I?
I don't think you did that.
Yeah, I have to do it again.
You need to do that.
I did promise to do it.
All right. Well, anyway, that's the thing how we got together.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
And so there is a second review of our artist. Omi will also be there, so now we get two names out.
Okay, so what was the other one?
DJ Omi. He will be there.
Okay, well, he's a good one. I like his style.
Me too. I've seen his playlists. Yes, just spot on.
Yeah.
What we are looking for.
Very cool songs.
So you'll be probably playing new songs there.
Yes, we will. We are going to be playing mostly new stuff from our third album, and we have already released one song, but by then I believe we have released at least 3 singles from the album, as we're going to be shooting a music video this weekend and another one in a month. So we should have at least 3 new songs out by then, but I believe that we'll be playing at least 5 new songs on the show.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Where do you get the ideas for the videos?
Well,
they're so different from what a typical Finnish music is.
Well, that's good to hear. I don't know. It's kind of a natural thing for us to shoot music videos in places that I have explored in the past, because I like urban exploration, and I've been to many abandoned factories and like underground tunnels and all kinds of like deteriorated places, and I get a lot of tips from my urban explorer friends. So that's kind of a natural progression, because I enjoy those places, and then we just know where they are, and then the visual atmosphere is kind of suitable for UNZYME anyway.
Yeah, it has that early techno feeling when techno arrived in Finland.
That's true.
That's been lost almost. There aren't that many underground parties anymore, but...
Yeah, that's a pity.
It is. How do you see the scene in your kind of music in Helsinki at the moment, or Finland?
The scene?
Yeah, it's getting small.
It's very small, actually. It's I don't know.
Is there a scene?
Yeah, there is definitely a scene. But when you go to one party, then you've probably seen all of the people that you're going to be meeting in the scene.
It's like a family.
Yeah. It's a very like a close group of people. It's more of a good thing than a bad thing, but it also tells about the size of the community, and it's not that big. That's why we're aiming outside Finland.
True, it's good. We've been trying to get more people involved in the interface, but it seems really hard to find talent that we could play the podcast, book them on the shows.
Yeah, well, you kind of need to prove yourself first.
True.
And start small.
That's what we are going to do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you. We got big plans.
Yeah.
So, let's go to Pihka Myrsky a bit. How did that start?
It started as my solo project, just like his band did, and it just started out as a band where like there would be no limits to what I want to do. Like it was gonna have to be exactly the kind of music that I hear in my head and I can make and I want to make, because it's just so easy to get when you have a band, it's so easy to make a format out of it. And Pihka Myrsky was supposed to be free of those formats, and I think it's worked until now at least. And the first record that we made we did with Heikki Marttila, a friend of mine who used to play in a pop band called Stella, a Finnish pop band.
Yep.
They were a really nice band, and I just thought that Heikki has a perfect aesthetic for my kind of music, and that's how we made Pihka Myrsky's first album. And while making the album, we got together a band of 6 people, and now we are only three people in the band. But we made the second album we made last year with 5 people. Heikki wasn't in the band anymore, but one of these persons who got into the band while making the first album was Henna Helasvuo, who became our second vocalist and a very important songwriter in the band as well. So now we mostly write everything together with Henna, and that's how it just flows these days. Yeah. So we released 2 albums now. So 2014 was the first album, and last year 2015 was the second album. And the second one was a double album, so it was 24 songs altogether. And it was 2 composers, so it had to be a double album. Yeah, but it was like a story album, like a concept album of an artist growing up and becoming into terms with him or herself.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, and now we're making a third album.
Yeah.
maybe out next winter or something. We have 6 songs together, doing it more electronically this time.
Are you gonna add more electronically sounds there, or is there more acoustic?
Oh, sorry, what?
Do you think you're gonna add more electronics?
More electronics, I think. We still have guitars and stuff, but it's mostly background is mostly drum machines and synthesizers,
So
and a lot of harmonies.
It will go more danceable then.
More danceable. I think it's been really danceable always. Even if there were live drums, it's always been really danceable, because I'm really into. I put a disco beat on everything, so it's always danceable I write music. That's what I've done to their music as well.
Yeah,
Always needs to have a
that's what we needed.
four on the floor beat for UNZYME. I think that's the main thing that I gave this band.
Yeah, you made it more pop.
More pop, yeah. But Pihka ja Myrsky's new stuff, I think it's going to be more interesting, like sound design wise, more interesting.
Yeah, I
because these two previous albums that we've made, they've been really like good pop albums with guitars and really rock and roll bass and really nice drums, but it's like very traditional pop music format. But now we want to make some sounds up that nobody's heard before, and that's why we decided to leave out the drummer and the bass player for now. Maybe we will take them back someday.
You never know.
You never know. But
Sounds
now we just want to make everything sound like nothing else before.
So you want to challenge yourself.
Yes, definitely, and it's been a challenge.
Good.
Yeah.
I found myself in the studio yard, like bouncing some metal pipe with a microphone, and that's the percussion of the song. That's what I've actually done.
That's good. I think Imogen Heap has done the same.
Who?
Imogen Heap.
Imogen Heap, yeah.
Maybe.
I'm a fan of hers, so
Me too.
nice,
Yeah, me too.
really nice.
So, the UNZYME. Well, your third album is coming out.
Yeah.
And how was the second album? What was it all about?
That was a difficult one. It took 4.5 years to make.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it was like 2 years longer than we wanted to to make it, but we kind of ran into some problems with well, in my personal life, I had to deal with 2 losses. First my grandpa died, and no, actually it was the other way around. Well, anyway, I lost my brother
Sorry to hear.
in 2013, and that was a big shock for me at the time. I kind of thought that I would have recovered sooner than I did, but it took some time to get myself back together and to continue working on the third album. But even at that point, we weren't too far to the production process, so that we did a lot of new things with the album. For example, Ville learned to mix while making that album. That was kind of his challenge, to learn mixing, and that was, in my perspective, in hindsight, that was a really bad choice to make because, well, he got good at it, but it took too long to do that. And well, I'm really proud of the album. It came out really well, but still, I think we could have spent the time better by just concentrating on composing and then letting someone else to do the mixing and mastering and all that kind of, I don't know, boring stuff in my perspective. Well,
I can imagine it's boring.
well, some people don't consider it boring, but I think that we have more to offer on the content side of things.
And live side.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we did tour quite a lot, even in those years, but still, I think that the main thing was that we kind of concentrated too much on technology and kind of, I don't know, mastering wrong things.
It seems to happen to a lot of artists. these days.
Maybe.
They always want to make it perfect.
Yeah, that's true, and I think that everyone should kind of find their own like strength and concentrate on that. And maybe we found those strengths in the process, but it kind of, that took too long. But yeah, getting back to the loss of my brother, he died in 2013, and then well, maybe it took some 6 months to really get back to working on the album. And then in the spring of 2014, my grandpa died, and then that was another period of grieving at the time. And I actually wrote a song that was kind of written before my grandpa died, and I wrote it to him as a kind of maybe some sort of I don't know, consolation for myself to I don't know, to deal with that subject, because I knew that the end was coming, and it was just a matter of time. But then I thought that my grandpa was such a person that he was always encouraging people to do what they love, and he wouldn't have wanted me to grieve. So it was kind of a I don't know, encouraging song for us to continue living and to do the things that we have to do here, that he has done his part, and that we need to move on and kind of take what he had to say and what he taught us, and kind of go with that. It's our turn now. And the song is called Relay, and it's about passing on what you've had, what you've received from other people.
It is hard.
Yeah, okay. Have you had to deal with such things?
All my grandparents are dead.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's father just died a few days ago.
Oh, damn.
So it's pretty
That's
close.
a pity. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, that's a difficult time for an artist, but in the same time, it was actually a pretty productive time, like for songwriting, because you don't need to think about what to write. You can just write.
So it's more like a therapy.
Yeah, in a way. And there is actually one song that has been inspired by my brother on the new album as well.
That's good.
Yeah, and I thought that I wouldn't have much to say about it anymore, because I thought that I had kind of dealt with that already, but then the moment came that I had to write lyrics, and then I just had to write it. And I think there might be more songs to be written about that subject at some point, but for now I'm not really unhappy about anything.
Didn't you just play a gig at, was it Jyväskylä?
Yeah, last weekend.
Week?
Last weekend,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. That was Yläkaupungin yö.
Yeah, I read about it.
Yeah.
Too late.
Okay. It's a city festival of arts. And we played in a museum, in an art gallery.
That sounds nice.
Well, it was surprisingly nice to play there, because the atmosphere is very different from a club, and people came there to see our show, and it was very like a concentrated moment. Everyone was there just because of us, and I don't know, it was kind of intense as a show.
Imagine if you have art all around you and not like tavasti with walls.
Exactly. So you're not kind of in the drinking mood, and you're not in the party mood, but you're kind of experiencing art there, and our show is pretty artsy.
True.
and also the walls were white, which is very
That's rare.
Yeah, that's rare, and our light show really shined there very well.
I can imagine it was a good gig. Everybody at least told so on Facebook.
Yeah, we had some pretty enthusiastic feedback about the show. Yeah, that it was one of our best shows ever, I think.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, totally, and it was also one of the most crowded shows we've had so far. I think that it was maybe something like 70 to 90 people there.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially in Jyväskylä.
Yeah, exactly. But that's our hometown, so it kind of explains. We had a lot of fans there.
Still your
local
studio is in
people.
Helsinki.
Yeah, well, I live mostly in Helsinki.
Ah,
And I have a second apartment in Jyväskylä. And we also have the band's rehearsal room in Jyväskylä. So I spend a lot of time there. But not as much as in Helsinki right now, but still quite a lot.
how does it work like that? You have one
Yeah,
thing
well-
in one city and then the other one in the other city.
Well, I have a place with 2 roommates in Jyväskylä. So it's not a financial disaster. And then I just drive there or go by train or something and spend the week there.
It's easy to get, basically,
Yeah.
from Helsinki.
It is. I like it a lot.
If I think of a scene in Berlin where I was just to see the Vision gig, and over here it's, in a way it's similar. It has a family feeling.
That's true. People are not too distant in Berlin.
No, and same here with this kind of music. So it's just this kind of music that makes a collective.
Maybe, could be. It's a minority.
It is, and when you look at the pop shows or other shows, it's totally different.
Maybe. I don't have too much experience on other kinds of music.
Yeah, when I think of all the synth bands, electronic bands, they make long careers these days. A lot of
Maybe.
them make. The Vision, for example, 25 years?
That's true. Maybe even longer. But
VNV Nation for almost same.
yeah, probably.
And they're still going strong.
Yeah. And my all-time favorite, the Pet Shop Boys,
Yeah, true.
turning 30 this year.
And if you look at the pop music, they make year, 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Same
true.
with rock.
Well, there are some rock bands.
Some are, but few only.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just the music that keeps people so interested in feeling it so deeply in their hearts that they want to keep making it.
Well, it's always about the music. It's about,
Well, that the Britney Spears.
well, I think that even she thinks that it's all about the music.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Who am I to judge?
True. Still, it seems to be special for this kind of bands. The festivals, no trouble at all anywhere. People like our family. And that's something that got me into this kind of music.
Yeah, I get that. It's very, like, warm community.
It is. It's so passionate of the music. That's also been interesting to see.
Yeah, even though some of the bands are pretty hardcore, and you might think that they're not that like teddy bear people, but but even those are usually quite nice and approachable people.
True. That's also amazing
Yeah,
compared to pop music or any other music.
I don't know. I've met kind of all kinds of musicians, and I think they're all kind of nice.
True. When I did the first ever interview for the blog, I think it was Solar Fake. They just agreed by asking them by email.
Yeah,
And that was a surprise. I thought they'd never go for it, but they did.
you get a lot of things by asking.
Yeah, I noticed it. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
You get record labels go for it then.
Well, yeah, if there are too many like, steps between artists and journalists, then it might be more difficult. But if you can be in contact directly with the artist, then it's usually pretty easy.
It is. There's been maybe 2 or 3 whom I haven't heard anything whom I asked.
Yeah,
So that's really small amount of task.
yeah, and of course when you ask an artist that if he wants to be featured on some sort of blog or or an interview, it's always a pleasure. It's an ego thing. We like to talk about ourselves a lot.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
And it's interesting to hear what's behind the music.
Yeah, that's true. I also listen to a lot of podcasts of my favorite artists.
Yeah, always when I find some new artist that I like one song from, I always check out all of their productions and all of their albums, and I check out the bio on the webpage or Wikipedia, whatever. I always want to know everything about, like, based on just one song, if I really like it.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm just like it never stops on just one song. I don't understand people who make playlists on Spotify of different artists. I always listen to whole albums. And I don't understand this concept of just one song. It just I just don't never get enough. I don't get into an artist. Well, I do get into an artist through one song, but there always has to be, like, if I hear a single from a new album, then it's never enough. Like, okay, what about the rest of the album? I rarely even listen to the single before there's an album.
Could it be because of the radio playlists?
Maybe.
Because they change so fast. They play a few 10, 15 tracks and that's it.
Yeah.
And the rest is almost underground.
Yeah, the rest is almost underground. Yeah, that is a problem, I think. I find, especially in Finland. Well, actually, it might be in some other countries as well. But I know how the Finnish radio playlist system works, and
It's incredible.
it's not very interesting to listen to.
No, it's not. That's why I don't listen to radio anymore. Podcasts.
Me neither. It was funny. I've never heard my own song from the radio, and last year they played in Radio Suomi. They played it for 4 weeks in top 10.
Really?
Like playlist of Pihka ja Myrsky song, and I've never even heard it on the radio because I don't listen to radio. Like other people, like my dad tells me that they played it again. Nice. No.
That's still a good thing.
That's a good thing, but sorry, I'm just not really interested in listening to radio.
I know the feeling.
It's funny. It's kind of funny because you still make very radio-friendly music.
Yes, I know.
But
that's just the kind of music that I like. I mean, the stuff that gets played on the Swedish Eurovision pre-selections Melody Festivalen.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of music that I want to make. Like, that's the kind of music that I want to listen to. It's a little bit plastic. It's a little bit predictable music, but that's just like good for my ears and good for my heart. I don't know why I like it so much, but that's I think that Pihka ja Myrsky sounds like that.
Well, Swedish are talented people.
Yes, they are. I don't know why. I'm not like a big Swedophilic, but what's the word in English? Like they are like an Anglophile for an English,
Right.
like sweet Philic.
There's little bits of artists like Anna Ternheim and Fan.
Exactly. Those I really like them. Anna Ternheim actually featured on the new Kent album,
Really?
which I completely love. And my all-time favorite band is The Ark. They don't exist anymore, but Ulla Salo is still making. Their vocalist is still making music, and I'm a big fan of The Ark and Kent and the sounds and what else? Miriam Bryant is one of the newer musicians, and Anna Järvinen. Like whenever I hear a new track that I like, then it's probably Swedish.
It happens, yeah.
Like, where did this come from? I check out on Wikipedia. Okay, Swedish. It's nice.
How easy it is today to break in the scene?
It's very difficult.
Yeah. It's
Extremely difficult.
It's getting more and more difficult all the time. Because there is so much music coming out all the time. And, well, most of it is meaningless. But still, you need to kind of like fight for people's attention there.
It's really funny from our point of view, since as Club Interface we want to promote new talent as much as we can,
Yeah.
but no one ever contacts us.
Well, they don't know about you.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's the
Luckily
thing.
we got the Center Records from Russia to work with us. But that's
That's
a
a
big
start.
step.
That's a good
It's a
thing.
big start, yeah.
And there will be guest mix from Russian big DJ, I don't know who yet.
That's great.
There are all kinds of things going on. And our main
Yeah.
artist is coming from Russia.
Well, I suppose that working on a club is quite similar to working with a band. Or
It's
working-
hard work.
Yeah, in the promotional aspect is pretty much the same. You need to contact a lot of people, and you need to collaborate with people and think about campaigns and write press releases and all that kind of stuff. And I think that these days musicians need to be like a lot more than just musicians.
True.
They need to be marketers and managers and ass lickers.
True. Yeah, it's pretty similar, but the fun part is that the clubs we tried to work with are well, they're ready to work with us. And we are just getting off, like Infective, for example.
Yeah.
We contacted them, they want to work with us. They were renting lights, PA for
That's
us.
cool. Yeah, they're really nice people too.
Yeah, it seems. And like the genre is full of nice people.
Yeah.
It's really funny because when you think of EDM, everybody's fighting over the money. And now you're at the other end of the rope, basically.
Yeah.
But the money isn't everything.
Yeah, well, I think there's more money in the DJ business than
It is.
in the synth pop genre.
It's
Yeah, that's right.
way too big.
Well, I don't know.
This is the time for the DJs.
Yeah.
Time for something else is coming up. We don't know yet what
Yeah.
it's gonna be, but
Something has to change.
well,
we have to
it's
see.
always changing.
Yeah.
It is.
Like in the 90s, it was something like 90s pop. Everybody knows that. Nobody wants to listen to that anymore.
True.
But maybe in the beginning of 2000, it was these hipster garage type of bands that was in. I think the Strokes and
Yeah.
everybody wanted to sound like that.
And
Everybody.
trance was big.
Trance was big, yeah, that's
True.
right.
It was
The other
huge.
thing, yeah.
And now it's hip hop.
Now it's hip hop, now it's DJs.
Yeah.
Well, especially in Finland, it's hip hop is really like Finnish language. Hip hop is really big
That's
on the
true.
radio, and
That's
and
big.
like every second song is about getting drunk and getting laid,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
just so tired of that. I don't want to listen. I mean, it's like with Henna, we check some songs. Check out Spotify's new music list like once in a month, and it's just so tiresome because, like I said, every second song is about getting wasted, and who wants to listen? I mean, it's not very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to listen to it obviously, because the songs are there on the lists. But I don't want to make music like that. I want it to have more meaning.
True.
Yeah, it's not like hip hop is a bad thing. It's more about the content of the song.
The content of the songs. I mean, getting wasted is fun and it's a good subject for a song, but not for so many songs.
Yeah, no.
There's a limit to everything.
Yeah.
When you think of the synth pop, it's going back retro these days.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
80s, 90s.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you check out all these plugins, I mean I mean this is producer talk, but you can buy all sorts of vintage inspired plugins these days.
True.
Plugins that are modeling old Oberheim synthesizers
Yeah.
or MS-20s or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
vintage synthesizer you want, you can buy it as a plugin at a very cheap price, and they sound really lovely these days. And you can really feel that
Yeah.
fashion.
But why is it so big right now?
I don't know. But I kind of don't like that. Because I would like to hear new stuff. I like
Same
new
here.
sounds and like modern sound. I think
Well,
that
I want to hear the combination.
well, that's true. You can
That's what I'm interested in.
okay. I can do that because I'm not saying that our songs sound all modern and all fresh.
Yeah.
There's always an element of the past there, but still we strive to sound modern anyway and bring new stuff there more than the old one. But
It seems to be the same with the clubs in Finland. Except in 50s it's more industrial. Look at Danville, it's almost retro night, if I'm right.
yeah, that's true.
Club Kalma is the same.
Yeah, well, people need that, the nostalgia.
True.
I'm not much into nostalgia actually,
Yes,
especially when it comes to my own doings. I hate what I've done before. I just always want to make up something new.
well, I think we can all share that thought.
Yeah. I don't hate what I've done before. I'm really proud of what I've done before, but that was then.
This is now.
This is now. Check out the lyrics on the new Kent album. You'll know how I feel. It's great, really nice. If you understand Swedish.
Little bit. There's a Google Translate.
Yeah,
You get interesting translations, but
yeah.
Yeah, I love Kent.
they have good melodies.
They certainly do.
And really good sounds these days as well.
Though quite retro.
Quite retro. That's actually true.
Yeah. But they use them really skillfully.
Yeah.
It's not like well, it's a very like organic sound. Very, I don't know, fluent sound.
And he's got that so much emotion.
Yeah,
Music. So
that's true.
actually, the new album took me like 5 times,
Yeah,
5 playthroughs to
get into.
to get into. Because usually I've gotten into Kent albums like immediately when I've heard like two of the 2 first songs.
Yeah.
I've gotten into it, but this one I just thought, like, what is wrong? I'm not getting into this, but I'm not feeling the vibe. But after the 5th time, 6th time, I was like,
You
right,
have a challenge.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's good that it's the last album, and they wanted to make it a bit more challenging.
that's right.
I think it's
But it was
good.
still modern and still like
Yeah.
they didn't make it retrospective Kent album. They
No.
didn't make another Isola or Hangnesta Hill. But they well, that's nice just to hear them still going forward, even though
Yeah.
it's their last
Yeah.
album. And I hope that their last tour this fall is going to be like that as well. That it's not going to just be old songs. Like they're not just going to play Om du var här and
Yeah.
musik non-stop. I want to hear the new songs still.
So can we guess that Kent has also influenced UNZYME in a way?
Yeah. It's no secret.
But
I think that Kent is in my top 3 bands.
what are the other 2?
Well, it kind of depends on
On
the
the mood.
day, but the first one is always the Pet Shop Boys, and the second one might be CMX.
Well, that's a
Finnish.
surprise.
Yeah, that's one of my hero bands, and Apulanta is also a big influence. And Kent is a very big name in my book.
So the background is in more rock.
Yeah,
and in
definitely,
electronic music.
definitely more rock than
Why the
electronic.
change?
Well, I don't know. Well, the first band that I fell in love with was the Pet Shop Boys, and then came Apulanta and CMX and other rock bands. And I still listen to a lot of rock music and some heavy music as well. And I don't know, there is no change. There is a diversity.
A bit of growing up, maybe.
Well, not exactly. I don't like to think about it that way.
Yeah.
There was a time when I kind of didn't want to listen to any electronic music, but it didn't last for too long. It was a bit like, maybe that was the growing up phase, that I spent a few years with more rock bands than electronic bands, but then I kind of refound the Pet Shop Boys and haven't looked back.
It's Pet Shop Boys is the starting point.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it all comes back to.
No wonder, and a good choice.
Yeah, if I only had to choose one, that would be them.
So now that you're making the new album, do you listen to other music?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you ask for an influence, inspiration, or just for fun?
More like just to experience art and to feel things.
And to discover new things.
Yeah, true. But it's not like I'm never looking for influences, and I rarely try to imitate anyone.
That's good.
But I sometimes catch myself like having had influences from songs, but it's always subconscious.
Yeah, it happens to everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So how is it with you?
Well, I'm the same. I'm listening to new music all the time, but I do take really conscious influences. Like yesterday, we had to. We are producing songs for other people, like I said, and we had to produce a song that was already. There was a demo of the song already. It was not written by us, and we just had to arrange the song for another artist, and it just didn't happen. And then I came up with an idea that we should make it like Sigur Rós song, glossally. I don't know how to say that in Icelandic, glossally. And we just took that as an influence and almost copied some of the ideas there. And in the end, it still doesn't sound like Sigur Rós. I mean, it's never going to sound like Sigur Rós, because you take some little. I very often take some little thing and almost copy it from someone else, and then all the other ideas start to come, and then I make those ideas reality and audible, and whichever is the best, I just hold on to that. Sometimes the original, like almost copied idea doesn't even make the song, but this time it did, and it still doesn't sound like Sigur Rós. I'm not really careful in avoiding copying somebody else's work, because it's always going to be my work in the end, and I'm not really interested in ever how to say it in English. I'm not interested in if it sounds like somebody else. I don't care. because if it's going to be my vocals or somebody else's vocals, it's going to sound like that artist in the end.
How different is it to produce other artists compared to your own material?
Well, I try to make all my productions like my own songs, like our songs. I want to feel like it's like I can't do it always, because when I'm like I said, when I'm writing stuff for like a Finnish Schlager singer or something like that, then I can't feel like it's my song. But if I'm writing pop music or producing UNZYME's music, it kind of becomes my songs as well. And especially yesterday, when we got to arrange the whole song like differently. Like we always think like, or I always think like, what do I want to hear? what would I want to hear in the radio or in my iPhone, my headphones. What would I like to hear? So it's not really that different.
So basically it's bouncing ideas
Yeah.
with each other.
Yeah. Bouncing ideas with each other. It's funny that even your napkin is green.
It's a green.
The green man.
I only wear green clothes. And of course the napkins need to be green too.
That's funny.
Yeah,
So,
maybe so.
who else is in UNZYME? Mary isn't here.
Yeah. Mary plays the keys, and she's been with us from the very beginning. She was actually the second member of UNZYME, even before Ville. But there is a time difference of only a week or so.
Of course.
So the first time when we played together, we played as a trio, and that was a funny incident. We played with acoustic drums and maybe just one backing track and some cheap synths.
But it just clicked.
Yeah, we just liked it so much that we've been doing it ever since. And we performed as a trio for I don't know how many years, 6 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, we've been around for a while.
True.
And just recently we had we met this guy who was interested in our live setup, and then we presented it to him and told how we did things and kind of introduced UNZYME to him and our ways of doing things. And then he was kind of interested in doing something with us, and then we tried just to play together. And after a few times we saw that it was a perfect match, that he could bring something new to UNZYME's live show. And now Daniel is a member of our live show. So we've kind of had only one lineup change in the history of UNZYME, and it's been an addition more than a replacement.
That's good.
Yeah. But we haven't played all our shows as a trio. We've played them in like all sorts of combinations as a duo, and I've done one show by myself, and
Really?
yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, that was a request by a friend of mine who has this anti-drug organization, and he asked that if I could, or if UNZYME could perform at one of their events, and then only I was able to come there at that time. But I didn't want to lose that chance, so I took it and went there and sang by myself, and it was a different experience from
Definitely.
yeah, it was weird just to pack my laptop and my lab coat.
Would you
And
love to do it again?
yeah, sure, it was fun, but it's not as fun as performing with the band. It's always a more like powerful experience when you're playing with other people. But still, it was fun to do it alone, and I would do it again, like anytime. It was a good experience.
How did the live setup become?
Well, the stage was already set, and they had like gorgeous lights there already. So it wasn't as UNZYME as our own show, but it was close enough. So it was good. I liked it.
What are the plans for the future?
Well, we're gonna be expanding our own light show. We're gonna be getting some black light strobes and other kinds of new effect lights
Sounds good.
to the lighting setup, and we're mostly gonna be concentrating on music videos for the next few months. And this is also allergy season for me, so it's difficult to record vocals right
I
now.
know the feeling.
yeah,
Too
so,
well.
yeah. Okay, so there's gonna be a slight break in in recording vocals right now, but we're going to be going ahead with production and all other parts of music production in the meantime. And well, Ville is going to be recording some new drum additions to the tracks that we're working on right now with Lasse. And I'll be writing some lyrics to a few more songs that are still unfinished for the third album. And I'll be redesigning our website in the forthcoming months. I don't know, there's quite a lot of things going on.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
How important are music videos these days? MTV doesn't play any more music videos.
Well, music videos are really important tool for a musician these days. It's mostly a promotional tool. For example, if you have a music video, it's a lot easier to get exposure on blogs, and when you send out a press release, it's always easier to get featured on magazines if you have a music video to accompany the press release.
That has changed a lot.
Yeah, that's true, and I think that the music industry is moving more to a single release model than
like
album model. So in that sense, a music video is all the more important when you just need to do one song and you need to present it in a way that it's entertaining and that fits to the social media world. So it's not like it's not just about listening to music anymore.
True. How about Bandcamp and other places for self-releases?
Well, Bandcamp is my favorite place of releasing music. That's the most artist-friendly channel to release
it seems
music.
like things seem to be moving forward to that direction.
Yeah, that's true.
Labels are become obsolete.
Yeah, but they
are
kind
becoming
of.
more important.
That's true, but still, big labels have their tentacles in all music streaming services.
True.
So they've kind of taken over it before it had the chance of becoming fair to the musician.
Bandcamp and
Bandcamp is an exception.
one.
It hasn't been conquered by the big names in the industry.
True, and CD Baby is another one.
Yeah,
I've used.
that's true. Yeah.
I just love the messages they send out when they send you CDs.
Yeah.
And the way they get the ideas, but they make me laugh every time.
Yeah. Well, those are more like indie kind of publishers, and they're really good tools for indie musicians.
Yeah, and the prices are nice.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's true.
So the music industry will be most likely going more digital even
Yeah,
from
of
now,
course.
definitely.
Yeah, it will.
Even though the LP declines on sales.
Yeah, but it's always going to be more like a collector's thing. Well, yeah, I don't know. I still have CDs and I like CDs.
Yeah.
But I'm in the minority now.
Me too.
How do you guys see the Spotify and other places?
Yeah. Well, Spotify isn't really paying off.
True, that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
So it's more like a rip-off.
pretty much.
It was crazy. I had one song played 28,000 times last year on Spotify, and I got, what was it? Less than €100 for myself.
Really?
Yeah. No, that was fun.
That's ridiculous.
No. No, actually it was €180, but there were so many people sharing it, so it was a lot less. For 28,000 plays. Well, you have to make like 1 million plays to make any money with it. But some tracks do make 1 million plays.
Yeah.
Just have to make a hip hop track that's about getting wasted. Then
Yeah.
Right.
Still,
There is still
No, you're just gonna have to write your own music like you feel like
True.
writing your music, and then if it happens with the audience, it's gonna happen with the audience. You just have to trust yourself.
Sure.
It's gonna happen one day, or then it's not gonna happen one day, and everything just. I think it's going just like it's supposed to be going.
Yeah, you really hear it when it comes from the heart.
Yeah. And people really hear it when it doesn't come from the heart. so if you're writing stuff to get Spotify listening times, then and not making your own music but making it for some audience, then people can really hear it.
True.
If it's not genuine.
It's kind of shame that streaming services are ripping off artists like that.
Yeah.
The same happened with Beatport, I heard.
Oh.
They didn't pay for the artist at all. Again. Second
Yeah,
time.
they stopped. They had a press release that I read like maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. They stopped streaming music. They're not a music streaming service anymore. They just sell separate tracks to DJs, like more high quality tracks for DJs, remixes.
But I heard they don't pay for that DJs and producers at all.
Maybe they don't pay for the streaming service. I don't know. I mean,
It's just for
I'm
the
not
sales.
familiar.
I heard it somewhere, so it's...
Well,
So is it easier these
Well, I don't
days
know.
to sell yourself the music? It seems to be the best way these days. Or use Bandcamp, CD Baby.
well, it's not the only way, but it's a very popular way.
It is. It makes it easier for the artists.
Yeah,
The music out.
but then again, the artists themselves usually don't have they don't have enough clout or draw, so it might be easier, but it's not helping them too much.
Yeah, the songs have to be on Spotify because that's where people are going to listen to them.
Yeah.
That's
Even
that,
if
like,
they buy it.
even if they buy it, they're going to listen it through Spotify.
Yeah.
I confess I never used Spotify before.
Okay.
Well, I do use it, and it's very handy, but at the same time, I hate it because it takes away my living.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't take away my living, but it makes it a lot smaller.
How would you see what would be better way for a new artist to break than the current ones? Should that be one place
Well-
where you could find all the new music, or a streaming service that would pay better?
That would be the thing.
Maybe.
Streaming service that would share the artist as well.
Yeah.
That would be. That's where we have to go next.
Yeah.
Yeah, streaming is word of the day, it seems like.
It is the word of the day. Yeah. There's no going back
Yeah.
to CDs. Not
Maybe
now.
if Bandcamp did something like that, that could be more
Yeah, maybe.
more beneficial for the artist.
Bandcamp I like. I think that's
Yeah.
a good job.
They have a good model, even though they're not too much of a streaming service right now. But
Still,
But
the
still.
prices are nice. They could be
Yeah.
higher. I would be
Yeah.
willing more.
and if you really think about it, how many albums are you really gonna be listening to in a year? So if you pay for Spotify $10 a month, then you might as well buy one album or 2 albums on Bandcamp with the money, and
I'd still buy them.
you'd
I still
probably be good
prefer it.
for a year with 20 albums.
I still prefer it for artists to
Yeah.
get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I think you should get paid for what you've done, especially for the art.
That would be nice.
It would be. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll put this out on the Club in the Face podcast, the first one.
All right. Well, see you there.
Okay, see you then.